I don't know how long I lay there in the snow, paralyzed by fear, waiting for something, anything, to happen. My mind was still racing, trying to process what I had just seen. The creature, the thing that had been hiding in the woods all this time, waiting for someone like me to break the rules. I thought I had escaped it, but in that moment, lying in the snow, I was sure it had me. But then, nothing happened. The sound of its breath, its slow, unnatural movements, disappeared. The forest, which had been so eerily silent before, seemed to come back to life around me. The wind rustled the branches, the snow continued to fall in thick sheets, but the creature was gone. I dared not open my eyes. I lay there in the freezing cold, my body trembling, unsure if I had truly escaped or if it was just waiting for me to make a move. Minutes passed. Then slowly, I opened my eyes. The darkness was still overwhelming, the shadows thick around me. But I could hear the world again. The soft whisper of the wind, the distant crack of a branch snapping under the weight of the snow. It felt normal, almost normal. But I knew better. It wasn't over. I forced myself to stand, my legs shaking beneath me as I pushed against the snow, each step feeling heavier than the last. My mind was in a fog, and the cold was seeping deeper into my skin. I had to get back to the outpost. I had to get inside where it was safe. But just as I began to move, I heard it, a low, guttural sound. It was faint at first, almost like a whisper on the wind, but then it grew louder. The scraping noise, the sound of something moving through the snow, its long limbs dragging against the earth. My heart skipped. He was back. I turned, my feet slipping in the snow as I frantically looked for somewhere to hide. The creature was closer now. I could feel it even before I saw it. Its presence loomed over me like a dark cloud, suffocating and heavy. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't going to make it back. It emerged from the darkness, stepping into the faint light of the snow-covered trees. This time, it was closer. Its movements were jerky, erratic, like it was struggling to hold its form together. Its limbs were impossibly long, almost unnaturally so, and its head tilted to one side, as if it were curious, watching, studying. I didn't know what to do. My legs were frozen in place, my body unable to react. The creature's presence was suffocating, like a weight on my chest. It didn't move toward me yet, but I knew it wasn't just watching anymore. It was waiting for me to make the first move. And that's when I realized I wasn't going to outrun it. I wasn't going to survive this. My only choice now was to get back to the outpost, to warn everyone, to make them understand. But it was too late. The creature wasn't just hunting me anymore. It had been waiting for all of us. And now it had found its prey. I ran again, as fast as my frozen legs could carry me. My breath came in ragged gasps, but I didn't dare look back. I had to get to the outpost. I had to warn them. Every step felt like it was getting heavier, the snow pushing back against me, the cold seeping deeper into my bones. But the creature was closer now. I could hear it. Its breathing. Its footsteps. They were faster now, too. Too fast for me to outrun. The distance between us was closing with every heartbeat, and I knew that I wouldn't make it. Just as the sound of its pursuit grew deafening, I stumbled. My foot caught on something hidden beneath the snow, and I fell forward, my hand slamming into the frozen ground. My breath hitched as I struggled to get up, but before I could even push myself back to my feet, I felt a presence above me. I looked up, my heart pounding in my chest. It was standing over me, looming in the darkness like a shadow made of nightmares. Its face, or what passed for a face, was featureless, just a black void where its eyes should be. Its limbs, long and thin, curled toward me, like it was about to reach down and... "No!" I screamed. "Stay back!" But it didn't stop. Its arms reached out, its long fingers curling toward me, moving like they were made of smoke, like they were not entirely part of the world. I tried to move, tried to get up, but my body was paralyzed by the sheer terror of it all. My head spun, and I felt my heartbeat in my throat. Then, out of nowhere, a loud crack pierced the night, followed by the sound of frantic footsteps. A figure appeared at the edge of the trees. It was one of the workers. Steve, I realized, running toward me with a flashlight in hand. He didn't hesitate. He ran straight toward the creature, swinging the flashlight in wide arcs, blinding it for a moment. The creature recoiled, taking a step back, and for the first time, I saw it hesitate. "Get up!" Steve shouted. "Run!" Without thinking, I scrambled to my feet, still shaking for fear, and I ran. My legs barely obeyed me, but I didn't care. I had to escape. I had to make it back to the outpost. Steve was right behind me, his flashlight swinging wildly as he kept the creature at bay, but I could feel it getting closer. Its breathing was louder now, closer than ever before. As we neared the edge of the woods, the creature stopped. It didn't chase us further. It stayed there, watching from the shadows, its shape blending with the trees. I dared not look back. I didn't want to see it anymore. I just had to get inside. We reached the outpost door, and I slammed it shut behind us, panting, my hands still shaking. The warmth inside the building felt like a dream, but I knew that the creature was still out there. It was waiting. Steve leaned against the door, out of breath, but his face was grim. "You shouldn't have gone out there. You can't break the rules." I looked at him, my eyes wide. "What is it? What is that thing? What have we been keeping here?" Steve didn't answer first. He just looked at me, his eyes filled with fear, and then in a voice barely above a whisper, he said, "It's never left, and it's never going to."
I didn't know what to say. The words, "it's never going to leave," echoed in my mind, reverberating through the thick silence of the outpost. The walls that had once felt like a refuge now seemed like a prison, each one closing in tighter, as if the building itself was in on the secret. I didn't know what Steve meant, "it's never going to leave." What was that supposed to mean? That it was bound to this place, or that we were? I turned to Steve, my voice trembling with both fear and confusion. "What are you talking about? What is that thing? Why didn't anyone tell me about it?" Steve stood there for a long moment, his face pale, his hands shaking as he ran them through his hair. He was silent for so long I thought he wouldn't speak at all. Then he let out a long, exhausted breath, finally locking eyes with me. "You wouldn't have believed me," he said quietly, almost apologetically. "None of us did at first. When we all got here, we were just researchers. You know, a typical job in a remote place. Study the environment, collect data. But what they didn't tell us, what no one tells you when you sign up for a place like this, is that the mountain doesn't just house wildlife. It houses something older. Something that was here long before any of us." I felt my heart rate pick up. "What are you talking about? What is that thing? Why didn't anyone tell me about it?" Steve stood there for a long moment, his face pale, his hands shaking as he ran them through his hair. He was silent for so long I thought he wouldn't speak at all. Then he let out a long, exhausted breath, finally locking eyes with me. "You wouldn't have believed me," he said quietly, almost apologetically. "None of us did at first. When we all got here, we were just researchers. You know, a typical job in a remote place. Study the environment, collect data. But what they didn't tell us, what no one tells you when you sign up for a place like this, is that the mountain doesn't just house wildlife. It houses something older. Something that was here long before any of us." I felt my heart rate pick up. "What do you mean, older?" Steve's eyes flickered to the door, to the windows, like he was checking for something lurking just outside. His voice dropped lower, barely a whisper. "Before this outpost was built, there were others, explorers, researchers, people who came here to study the area. But they didn't realize the rules. They thought they could ignore them, break them, maybe discover something new. And one by one, they disappeared. And when the mountain took them, it became a pattern." He stopped, as if the weight of his words were too much to continue. I waited, but I was almost afraid to ask. "What pattern?" Steve turned toward the door, his face etched with a mixture of guilt and regret. "The thing in the woods, it doesn't just kill. It hunts in a different way. It watches. It waits for someone to break the rules that keep it at bay. That's why no one leaves after dark. That's why we never venture into the woods. Once you break the rules, it doesn't just come for you, it comes for everyone. I didn't understand. My brain was spinning, trying to piece everything together. You mean the creature, this thing, is tied to the rules? What, if we don't follow them, it comes after us all? Steve nodded slowly, his gaze distant. It's not just a creature, it's a force. The Outpost, this whole place, it was built to keep it contained, to keep the balance. But it's only a temporary thing. We can't stop it. We can only keep it from escaping. And the rules... He paused, his voice barely audible now. They were set to make sure that no one leaves once the sun sets, because once the creature gets too close, it doesn't just kill, it takes, it feeds, it changes things. The air in the room felt thicker, like it was getting harder to breathe. The pressure in my chest increased, and I could feel panic rising within me. This wasn't just a job. This wasn't just a research outpost in the mountains. It was a trap designed to keep something locked away. But why? I asked, my voice shaking. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't anyone say anything? We thought we could handle it, Steve whispered, almost to himself. We thought the creature was just some ghost story, some myth we had to deal with. But when it started to get worse, when people started to go missing, when we realized that we were losing the battle to keep it contained, it was too late. No one could leave, not unless they wanted to face it. The rules were our only defense. I could feel my stomach twist, nausea crawling up my throat. So if we break the rules, if I break the rules, I'm not just risking my life, I'm risking everyone here. Steve turned to face me, his eyes filled with a mixture of sorrow and resignation. Yes, you're not just risking your own life, you're risking everyone's. There was a long silence, the weight of his words sinking into the room. The atmosphere felt heavier now. I felt like the walls were pressing in on me, the air thick with a coldness that had nothing to do with the weather. The darkness outside, the one that I had dared to venture into, wasn't just the absence of light, it was the absence of life, and it was spreading. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. This couldn't be real, could it? Was this all some twisted hallucination brought on by the isolation? Or was it something deeper, something darker? My mind raced, but no matter how much I wanted to deny it, every instinct in my body told me that this was no dream. The creature was real, the rules were real, and we were trapped. We have to leave, I said, my voice trembling but firm. We can't stay here. We can't just wait for it to come for us. Steve shook his head slowly, his expression pained. It's not that simple. The creature doesn't just hunt one person at a time. It has a plan. It picks us off one by one until there's no one left. The only reason you're still alive is because you haven't broken enough rules yet. But the moment you do, when you're alone, when you think no one's watching, that's when it strikes. I backed away from him, my heart pounding in my chest. I can't stay here. I can't just... You have to, Steve interrupted, his voice sharp, almost desperate. You don't understand. The moment you break the rules, you're bound to this place, to this creature. There's no escaping it, no matter what you think. Once you let it in, it's already too late. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. It wasn't just the outpost that was isolated. It was us.
We were isolated by a pact, a deal that had been made long before any of us arrived. The creature wasn't just something we could fight. It was part of the land itself, part of the mountains, and there was no leaving it, no leaving the mountain. "You can't escape," Steve repeated, his eyes locked on me. "None of us can. We're here until it decides we're not." And that's when it hit me. The creature didn't just hunt, it changed things. It twisted them. And I wasn't just in danger of dying, I was in danger of becoming something else. Something part of the mountain, part of whatever dark force had been here long before us.